Hey everyone, thanks for learning to play games. My name is Lance, and today I'll be doing an unboxing video for Marvel United and all of the expansions and Kickstarter exclusives with it. This is the latest game from Come On Games, and if you missed out on this one, they did just announce that during their next campaign for X-Men United, that they're going to offer all of this stuff, including any of the Kickstarter exclusives or anything like that. So if you missed out on it, or you didn't know about them as you just picked up the base game or something at your local retail store, these are all going to be offered again, so if you want to grab any of those, that'll be your next opportunity to do so. And I'll try to have a link down in the description below once that starts. They haven't announced, I don't think, when that is going to start yet, or if they did, it's not for a little bit yet. So I will drop that down below. For those of you that are subscribers or whatnot, I'll try to put out a note about that as well. So in the video, we're going to go ahead and unbox. We'll start with the base game, and then I'll work my way through the expansions, and I'll have a pop-up screen showing you all the little miniatures and all the details on them and that. And I'm really excited about this one. I've heard a lot of really good things, and I know I'm kind of late to the party with this one. So I'm really looking forward to diving into this, and I'll have some other videos shortly for this, probably a playthrough and whatnot. I might do a teaching video. We'll have to wait and see. Or if there's enough comments down below asking for it, that'll definitely help persuade me as well. So drop those comments. Let me know if this is one that you would like to see a teaching video for, and I'll see what I can do. As always, if you find these videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider that like button, subscribe to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we can continue to grow and produce this content. If you want to stay updated on all my videos, also considering that bell so you get notifications anytime I release new videos. So let's head to the table and we'll see what's in the box. Alright, so diving into the core game first, we do have the rule book, which seems pretty good. I started reading some of it. It's pretty straightforward so far, and it's not a big rule book at all. Finishing off at 10 pages. Yep. Next, we have everything in dividers and covers. So you have all of your different areas around the city. Times Square, New York Police Headquarters, Shield, all the different spots, Central Park, Stark Labs. Cool. Next we have our villains. So in the base game, you're going to have Red Skull, Ultron, and the Taskmaster. Each one of these guys is going to have all kinds of different instructions and different ways that they're going to interact with our heroes to try to bring their evil plans to fruition. Then we have the marker for the villain. So the villain's dashboard will go up top, and you'll have his different cards and stuff, it looks like. I did go ahead and punch out all the different tokens ready, and I do want to make one comment on this. These were so satisfying. I've obviously punched out ridiculous amounts of tokens in my time, but these were some of the best I've seen. None of them have any of the lines on them from where the machines are pressing them, and they came out really nice, and there's no flaring on the edges where you are punching them through the cardboard or anything like that. So they were really, really good on that. Whoever did that did a wonderful job. Next, we have the villain cards. So each one of the villains is going to have their own deck of cards. They'll have their own threat cards for that. And then we'll flip them over. And then each of these cards is going to have you guys do different things, whether the villain moves and carries out all kinds of different actions and bams and attacks and all that kind of stuff. So these will provide the heroes with all kinds of different headaches. And then there's Taskmaster and his cards. And then there's some challenge cards and threats and all that stuff. Then we have our thugs and citizen tokens. And then our heroes each have their own deck of cards as well. So the Wasp, Ant-Man, Captain Marvel, the Hulk, Iron Man, Black Widow, and Captain America. So then each one of these, on each of these cards, you'll have the hero, and they'll have their actions that they're going to be able to carry out when they play that card. Some of these cards will also have additional actions that the hero will be able to do. I love the artwork on this. It's really cool. They did a great job with these. The little chibi style miniatures and all that look great. All right. And then finally the miniatures. So each one of our heroes has one. So there's Ant-Man, and like I said, I'll have close-ups of these on the side running as well. Ultron, and good amount of detail on these, and from what I can tell, the mold lines aren't terrible on these for those of you that are into painting these up. These look like they'll paint up really nice, and like I said, the mold lines aren't bad for taking that off. But great detail on these. Love these minis. These are so cool. They did a great job on these. Each one of them has dramatic poses and all that stuff. So there's the Hulk. He's so cool. That is awesome. Captain Marvel. She looks good. Got that mohawk running there. Very cool. Alright, so that is the core set. Next, there was 2 exclusive Kickstarter exclusive miniatures. With this, we have Adam Warlock, and each one of these provides a new hero for the players and their new cards. So I'll take a quick look at these. So again, there's Adam Warlock. Very cool. And then we have Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy. He's got his little arrow. That's sweet. And then his cards. From there, let's get into the Kickstarter box. So this is all the different stretch goals. First off, we have all our heroes, and they're all outlined on here. There's 2 trays in here, and on the back side, you're going to have spots for those 2 heroes that we just unboxed for the Kickstarter exclusive. So those will be where they can go after you've opened them up if you want to keep them separated. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into these guys first. So we have a ton of new villains here, and then a ton of new heroes as well. So cool. For those of you that were watching the campaign closely, we had a ton of back and forth from Watch It Played, and there is the Punisher figure that he was pushing so hard for, and they did a great job on it. It looks wonderful. We have all the different heroes in here, tons of different options for the players. And then from there, we have all the new enemy cards. So Venom, Rhino, all these different guys. So whoever your favorite villain is, there's a shot that you can go against them in this. Then there's some tokens, and then all of the different cards. And again, these are the cards for each one of the villains. They'll have their own deck of villain cards, their own threat cards, and then some of them will have some additional cards with them. But other than that, those are all pretty much the same. And then the same with the heroes. Each of the heroes is going to have their own individual deck of cards. All right, moving over to the expansions, the first one I'm going to look at is Return of the Sinister Six. And this one's mainly going to focus, obviously, on the Sinister Six and all of those villains. So this one has its own special instructions. It's going to outline how you'll be able to use this. And then it's going to have its own little board that you'll be able to use for all the different villains. They have their own dashboards for each one of them. Alright. Underneath that are the different villains and all their miniatures. These are so cool. I love these. They did such a great job on these. Good detail. I bet these would paint up really nice. These guys are sweet. And then again, all of their different cards. So we have the different threats and villains. And then there's weak spots for each one of them, so that's something new. And then we have another set of cards for the Return of the Six, so some additional new features for the game. On to the next one, we have the Rise of the Black Panther. So this one we have a small sheet here just going over the components, and it looks like one additional rule. Underneath that, we have the new locations for Wakanda, all the different spots within there. Royal Palace, Warrior Falls. There's a new villain, Killmonger, and his card. And there's some new tokens, and then we have his miniature, and our new heroes. So we have Black Panther, and his sister, and the Winter Soldier. And each one of their cards. We have the threats, and of course, the villain cards, and then there's a new challenge. Next, enter the Spider-Verse. So for you Spider-Man fans, this one is going to offer all that stuff. We have an additional sheet with components and a couple of additional rules here. And we have a new punch card. So I left this one unpunched as I just wanted to show some of these. Now the expansions aren't quite as good. They do have the 1 point, but still they just come out so nice. I mean, they just plop right out of there. So really, really nice. Tokens on that, definitely give them great props for that. These, I would love to see these kind of tokens in more games. Like I said, they have a good thickness to them, and when you punch them out, their edges aren't flaring up, already showing some separation in that from the cardboard that I've seen in some of the other games, even from Come On and that. So definitely praising them on that. Those are really cool. Moving into the game, we have all the new locations for this one. The new villain, so we have the Green Goblin. Very cool. And his miniature is sweet. He's got his bombs and all that. And then the different Spider-Men. So we have Spider-Man himself. And Ghost Spider. Miles Morales. Very cool. And Spider-Ham. That's a great miniature. And of course, their cards and all that. So nothing new here. Each of the heroes, again, has their own cards. And the villain has their deck of cards as well as their threat. And we have a new challenge card. On to Tales of Asgard. So with this one, again, the rule sheet with a couple of new rules. Onto the locations. So all the Asgard locations. Loki is our new villain for this one. We have our cards and all of our different miniatures. So Loki, looking pretty good. This one didn't go together quite as well. There's a separation at his stomach where they connected him, but that's all right. And then the heroes. So Thor, of course, very cool. Loving those details. Valkyrie, she looks really good. Karg. And Beta Ray Bill. Not familiar with this guy. That is definitely more comic book related, and I didn't get into these quite as much, but really cool miniature. Guardians of the Galaxy Remix. So again, we have our new sheets with components and the challenge. Our new locations. Our villain, Ronin. And the miniatures, of course. And he looks sweet. I love that big hammer of his. Very cool. Star-Lord. Great. Love the detail. Rocket. Very cool. Groot. and Gamora. Very cool. And of course, there are cards again. We have some tokens down below and all that. And last but not least, the Infinity Gauntlet. I believe this was the exclusive one, so if you didn't get this one and you want it, definitely get in on that next campaign. This one actually has a complete rulebook, or has a lot bigger rulebook, as there's a lot more to this one. And then we have a new villain dashboard, as well as our villains, so Thanos, Black Dwarf, and a ton of new locations. There's quite a few in this one. All the different spots. And of course, you gotta have the Infinity Gauntlet itself. So this is just a little vac-sealed piece, but you got all the little gems that you can place in there, all the Infinity Stones. So that's really cool and neat. I would have loved to see something that was a little bit higher quality than this, but I understand that, you know, that would have probably been quite a bit more expensive. So this will work. I'm sure somebody will do some 3D printed stuff for this anyway, so I'm sure that we'll have some cool stuff out there. Great miniatures. Love these guys. These are massive guys. And Thanos, oh, and he's got the gauntlets. So cool. Then, of course, all their cards. So each one of them has their own set of cards. There's power-up cards now for different things. And that is everything. So I would of course love to see CMON make a storage solution for this, because there is a ton of stuff here. These boxes aren't the best quality out there, so I don't imagine that they're going to hold up forever, and there is a huge stack of games there. So it'd be great to see some sort of storage solution, maybe with this next Kickstarter or whatnot, to help with the storage of all of this stuff. So I hope you found this video helpful. Again, if you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section below. Let me know if you want to see a teaching video or playthroughs or whatnot with this one. I've heard some wonderful things about this game, so I cannot wait to dig into this one. And the rules are pretty quick, so hopefully I'll have some new stuff shortly for this. But again, let me know what you'd like to see in those comments below, and I'll do my best to help you with that. And as always, thank you so much for leaving some comments and feedback and all that. I do really appreciate it. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.